Hi, G-Day. You're a football agent. So what happens when your footballer or the person you represent gets signed to a club? What sort of support structure is in place for them? And what role do you play within that? And the other question I wanted to ask you is that, are you happy with the clubs, what they have in place with the clubs? What is the support that the clubs have in place for them?
It's a pertinent question. I think it's very important in today's in the age we are today. Once a footballer signs for a football club, especially the young players, life has changed. Everything has changed. So agents are no longer just what they used to be. Well, FIFA changed the name to intermediaries, and we're more like counselors now. We're more like friends. We're more like advisors as well. And I think football needs to do more as well, because football is doing it. You give a lot of credit to most professional football clubs. I can say that in England, there's a lot of safeguarding. There's a lot of welfare support in the clubs as well. But what needs to happen, I believe, to get it to the next level is actually involving the players more as well. And creating open forums, because I was once in the dressing room as well, creating open forums where players can actually come out and really say exactly how they feel, when they feel, and what can be done to help them. Because a lot of players, I say, especially the young ones today, the expectations are so high. They've got peer pressure, they've got family who think they're going to be they're going to be millionaires, superstars. And when that expectation is not properly managed and they get into football clubs, it can be a disaster. It's really hard to pick these youngsters up nowadays because they go on a high, they get these big contracts. Once they sign the contracts, most of the support system, gives way. And they're on their own. They have to be strong for themselves, strong for whatever, their families. And what happens is, because there's not enough, what happens is they come crashing down, and some cases, unfortunately, ends in disaster.
As a football agent, what role do you play within that support network?
There are two things. And for football agents, there are two ways. Some players are happy just for you to negotiate the contract and walk away.
Right.
Because you have a lot of parental influence nowadays. You have a lot of family influence. So the family, the parents, they want to manage the player. So the agent signs the contracts and walks away. In that case, the agent is not fully involved in that. But where you have an agent who's an intermediary and provides additional support for the player, then you stay and become part of the family as well. So what you do is try as much as possible, communicate with your players. I try to touch base with them daily as well, because I've been there where it can be lonely. You come out of training, you've had a bad session, the coach is screamed on you, your players and everybody, and there's nobody to fall to. And then people start developing, they'll change personalities. So for me as an agent, it's the day-to-day connection. That phone call, even if it's 2 minutes. So if it doesn't come, something is wrong. There's a lot going on in football nowadays that some intermediaries are chasing the next deal, they're chasing the next sponsorship contracts. But I think for me, it's important to have that bond with the player. Years ago, the money came towards the middle and the end of the career. Nowadays, once the young player gets the contract, the money comes in. And once that happens, the kind of responsibility that's thrown to such young players are just too huge. So when he goes away, it's a problem. So I believe the football authorities, the clubs as well, we need to do more, to manage the players' expectations, which is the most important thing. Because if it's not properly managed, if there are not enough structures, building blocks in there, then it's really a disaster waiting to happen.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, G-Day.